Hey, how's it going? I just wanted to do a little commentary over a solo GM. I'm trying to get some footage. I mean, this isn't for a build video. It's actually going to be for kind of like a... I'm not too sure. I said this before in a community post. I really don't know what to call this video. Kind of like a little comedy piece, I guess, is maybe the best thing. It's more kind of like ribbing a little bit at Bungie because... Okay, so for some context, when I did another solo gem, it was with this build, Birthplace of the Vile, and in that video, I didn't know that the way that Ascension works currently in the game is intentional. I said it was bugged. It doesn't work with class item mods, doesn't even work with Inmost Lights, and Inmost Lights is what I've got here in this footage. And when I was there, I was like, yeah, it's bugged, as you think it would be. I mean, anyone would just assume that Ascension would work with class item things. It's like it consumes your class ability. So I would assume it to work with Dynamo, Distribution, Bomber, Powerful Attraction, all of these things. And in that video, I was like, yeah, okay, obviously bugged, not working. Then kind of scratched my head a little bit, and I was like, I wonder if I'm the first person to kind of like talk about this much. Has it been discussed a lot? And then I go on to see that it's been like this for 6 months, and there's a couple of Bungie help posts that are saying this is intentional, that it not working with stuff is intentional. And I was there just like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on, that can't be true. You would just assume that it would be bugged by not working. But this is genuinely something that Bungie's just been like, nope, meant to work this way, which I massively disagree with. I'm gonna, in the video, I talk about both sides, kind of like why maybe it should stay as it is. And again, I'm kind of being a hypocrite, I suppose, because you're going to watch a solo GM of this build, and I think anyone would look at this footage and say, okay, obviously the build is like really good. It's got a fast clear on a GM that's pretty difficult. I think the three we have at the minute with Inverted Spire, and we've also got Birthplace of the Vile, which has had Brawn every time, which makes them a little bit of a pushover. It's definitely a much easier GM to do. But, this one is kind of like decently difficult. So I think you got to have a good build to go in and be able to solo this. And again, this is a fast clear, but, but if I was to say I want to see this stuff changed, that is technically giving it a buff, but then it would work as anyone would assume it would work. I talk about this again in the video that I'm working on, but yeah, everyone has gone into Bungie help or online and just said, these things aren't working correctly. Where in Bungie's mind, it's kind of that this stuff is working correctly, but the only place you're going to find that out is on a Bungie help forum. Again, like communication has been bad here, and I'll talk about that. But, it's weird. I feel like there needs to be a little bit of kind of mick taken out of them because, but for me it's crazy that it doesn't work. Like genuinely crazy. And even worse that there hasn't been kind of like a statement somewhere in a twab just saying, okay, we've seen lots of people saying that they think this is bugged, but it's actually intentional. Not even anything like that. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. Anyway, that's what the video is going to be. It's kind of like, as I said, a little comedy piece. And I'm trying to edit it more. And I'm really happy with how it's turning out so far. Only problem being is... Only problem being is that it's taking a while to do. I mean, it doesn't help that we've just had Christmas. Oh, yeah, if you got this far, hope you had a nice Christmas. Merry Christmas. Hope you got lots of nice presents. I know I got some nice ones from the family. But, like over Christmas, it's just been busy. Just drinking, drinking and eating too much. and there just wasn't really time for making content, you know. I do this as a hobby thing. I kind of do it because I want to work on, you know, improving my editing skills, and then Destiny's also a game that I enjoy playing, so I was like, right, I can tie the two together. Destiny, video editing, boom, there we go. So, you know, when I've got spare time, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'll work on this stuff. But yeah, over Christmas that did not happen at all. It was just full on. I mean, full on with nice things though. It was kind of like nice to see a lot of my mates and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely content has taken a back seat. And with how I do my videos as well, where it's, okay, at least for me, they're edited to the best of my current skills. But, you know, I'm not someone who is happy with just hitting record in OBS, opening up my subclass and just saying, I'm using this, and just hovering over it as kind of like talking about a build. I like the nitty-gritty little details, and I want my stuff to have a bit of production value. And as well, if you've watched my stuff before, the build videos, I'm sure you would have heard the music in the background. I love VGM so much, so yeah, I want to have that in the video, and it kind of only works if it's kind of like well produced, and I like that style as well. I feel like that's much more me than doing something not sloppy but low effort. And problem with that is it takes a little time. So, you know, I'm thinking kind of like a build every 2 weeks, and that's not even putting time aside for different kind of videos I want to work on. So yeah, stuff has just been slow, and to be honest, these solo jams are quite nice to kind of just do. I can do a commentary over them. I think that then kind of shows off a build as well, which is something I said I wanted to do a while back. So yeah, you know, it's a nice thing to just put up on the channel every now and then in between doing that more produced stuff. Because I mean, this is literally just me sitting in a dinky little office with a microphone in front of me, just watching some gameplay. Sorry, watching some gameplay that I've done. And, you know, I know that I definitely used to do this. I would watch people just do solo GMs or just GM runs and then go through. So it's nice to kind of have someone talking over that stuff, at least whilst it's going on. At least in my mind it is. Yeah, maybe you want me to shut up and just watch the footage. But, yeah. I don't really know where I was getting to with them. I was talking about, length of videos. My stuff doesn't really lean towards having a good schedule, if I even have one in the first place. But I really want these next videos to be well produced, especially the Ascension one. I really want that to do well. Be well produced and have people stick through that a bit longer, because I genuinely think it's important. I think Bungie has bumbled a little bit on speaking to people. I know it's kind of like, oh, it's just one ability that's not working, but it's more kind of like in the principle of how they're dealing with, I would say, going about fixing it, but they're not fixing it. That's part of the problem. They don't see it as a problem, so they're not looking at the ability. It's a whole whole mess, and yeah, I think it is currently being pretty badly managed. And yeah, but I want them to be good, well-produced videos, because I want people to stick around and watch it. And if it does well, maybe it hits the ears of people at Bungie, and maybe it gets some traction, and then it could at least get talked about, which would be great. Sorry, I haven't actually talked once, a single bit, about this gem and what I'm doing, apart from mentioning this isn't in most light roll. Okay, you can probably tell from the abilities, and you've been saying it the whole time. In most light Coyote, it's with Ascension, and yeah, dude, it's such a cool build. Whenever I'm bored, I just play with this now, and it's not only really good, but it's so much fun. It's so much fun. You just spin in the air, and then you're punching stuff, and then you're doing like a load of jolt damage, AoE, all of it. The build is just a serious powerhouse. I mean, I think this was like a 27-minute clear. The build does well in this content. As for what I'm using, just Lost Signal, Anarchy. I really wanted guns that were going to be able to make those jolt procs go off as much as possible. And then the scout rifle is, I think it's called Time Worn Wayfarer. I can't remember the name, but I love the scout. It's incandescent heal clip, and I think the aggressive frame is really slept on. And also, I don't do loads of raiding. I'm much more kind of like into doing the GMs and stuff. So yeah, if you see me using seasonal weapons, like I think every single video that has solar in it, that has some kind of scorch tag, I'm like, yeah, okay, adhortative. Yeah, adhortative. The one where it's got grass on it just comes out every single time. And I know Nullify people is like, yeah, so good, but it's just kind of like my comfort gun. So yeah, that, like the seasonal weapons, I think Bungie's doing really well with them so far. I think a lot of the stuff we got at the minute in Revenant, I think that's what this is called. A lot of the weapons we got there, I really like the Envious Arsenal Liturgy, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. That's a great gun. Chill clip on that as well. Tanisha's has been such an insane gun for any stasis build. I was making a, I can't remember what the build was. Oh, the young Ahamkara one. Young Ahamkara one. And I mentioned it in that, but with Winter Shroud, it is insane. It's like one single shot, dodge, and a freeze. I was using a version of my Fire and Ice build because finally Icebreaker dropped for me after however many clears, but more than I really wanted. But it dropped, and I was doing a, yeah, the Fire and Ice build, but with Tanisha's and Icebreaker, and I would just go Tanisha's, Shuriken, Tanisha's Winter Shroud, Tanisha's Duskfield, and it was just from Icebreaker. It's like ignition, 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 ignition. It just went on and on and on. And I was like, whoa, okay, this was a gun that I, well, should recommend, but at the time of making that video, I don't think it was in the game. No, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I don't think it was. But now, yeah, if you've got Icebreaker and you're this far through and you're using that build often, trust me, stick it on with a Tanisha's. It's such a powerhouse. It is ridiculous some of the stuff you can do with them. Genuinely, I know that Solar has got some great ignition chains, but this is like the freeze and the shatter, and then obviously just prismatic as well, which is broken anyway. And then, yeah, like you can just freeze, icebreaker shot, ignition, freeze, icebreaker shot, ignition. It's like, I genuinely just live for doing little combos like that in Destiny. They feel so nice. And yeah, I don't know what to talk about. Actually, I do know what to talk about. It's a thing I've not talked about at all, which is what's actually going on in this GM. Yeah, for this little plate section, I can't really start now. Yeah, sorry, this is all new to me. I'm still not good at doing this. Yeah, okay, let's talk about the build. That's the part that I actually find interesting. Mod setup, I changed from the birthplace of the vial, where I was using double dynamo, triple distribution. And I did make a change, which I said I was going to do during them, to double heavy-handed and a... No, sorry, heavy-handed was already there. To double hands-on on the helmet, double hands-on the helmet, just because, again, Ascension doesn't work with Dynamo. I still do use distribution, just because I really couldn't think of anything better on the class item, to be honest. You still do some dodges. It's not like Gamblers can't be used as Gambler's dodge. And when it is, obviously that's more super energy and a little bit of ability energy as well. So it's not useless there at all. But again, not if Ascension was working as you would think it would work, as in working with class ability related things, then I would be using probably Reaper, triple distribution, powerful attraction, things like that. But yeah, at the minute it can't. Now, I say this in the video, the upcoming one, where it's kind of putting a little bit of a stranglehold over what you can and can't use with Ascension. Yeah, it's a weird one. I highly recommend, if you're interested in finding more out about how Bungie has treated Ascension, which, you know, you wouldn't think would be an interesting topic in the first place, but it really has been, actually. Yeah, that's going to be a great one for you to watch. And also maybe any feedback as well. Super appreciated. I don't have loads of editing skills, but at the same time, I also hate with like a passion how a lot of videos nowadays are edited, like jump cuts every couple of seconds. You've got SFX on every single transition. Just stuff like that, it rubs me the wrong way. I really don't like seeing it. I don't like to hear it and watch it. It's just not a style of YouTube that I was used to growing up with. And yeah, I don't think it's an improvement from what we used to have either. I like to think that my stuff is hopefully not kind of traditional YouTube, but yeah, you know, kind of sometimes with these builds they have to be a little bit formulaic. And one thing I adamantly stand against is just some of the most awful clickbaity titles. I have made a promise to myself that on this channel I am never going to put in a title or thumbnail broken, busted, any of that bollocks. It's just, I hate seeing it. I hate seeing it. Someone will take a build that is like completely just normal, like a good build, and then slap on something like broken, busted, infinite abilities, like that one I hate, because technically everything is infinite if you just wait for it to go on a cooldown. Honestly, I could talk about that for so long. How, God, there are a few YouTubers who do stuff like that, and I see their things on my YouTube homepage, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you haven't stopped just clickbaiting people. But yeah, I've made a little promise to myself that that's something I'm never going to do. I'm never going to put something like that in my title, because like the level at which I consider something broken is like crafting. I think that's broken to the point where it literally broke the game. And I would consider something like Consecration Titan, for example, overpowered, because yeah, it is. What it does is so much better than what anything else in the meta can do. So yeah, I will call the things that are actually broken and actually overpowered those. But then things even like infinite ability, I see it used so much, and I hate the way it sounds, and I think it's a little cheap, and I think it doesn't really respect an audience either. So yeah, if you ever see that on my channel, know that either it's been stolen or you have free will to just report me. But yeah, I'm not a biggest fan of your modern day clickbaiting YouTuber. Anyway, what else is going on with the build? For aspects, okay, another reason why I'm using the scouts is for anti-barrier, but we've also got Facet of Dawn on. And one really nice thing in this build is obviously we have combination blow, but every punch that you land whilst it's powered is going to give you that 5 seconds of radiant from Facet of Dawn. But when you then lose combination blow, as in you kill something with it, and then you just have that 20-second combination blow timer, all of those also give you radiant procs. So Having that is super, super nice for barrier champs, but the scouts is there just because sometimes, like here for example, I want to have some distance. This GM is kind of weird. It's like up close but also far away at some times. So having the ability to deal with champs, or barrier champs specifically, up close, far away, it's nice to have a choice. Yeah, for the rest of it, Lost Signal is here literally just for Transcendence gains. This build is really, really light damage heavy. I mean, it doesn't have to be. Obviously, you can make weapon choices here, which is what Lost Signal is for. Oh, sorry, just quickly. Yeah, I thought that this was bugged here because I was like jumping up into like the red things. I wanted the, what are they called? Detain? All the detain dudes to come out. I was like, what's going on? So anyway, I just end up running past. Yeah, I don't know what happened here because, yeah, Overload is normally on the left, but then everything is kind of working normal apart from just that one thing. So it's a little weird. Sorry, what was I talking about? Something about Facet of Dawn? Oh well, if I forgot, it probably wasn't that important in the first place. For our other aspects, apart from Facet of Dawn, we got Facet of Purpose, which here is Woven Mail. We make a decent amount of orbs in the build, but it's more just nice to have something with a little bit of survivability. I know people normally run Ascension with Gifted Conviction, but I just prefer this style, what you're seeing, so much more. It's much more spammy, and that's just the way that I like to play. Arguably better, it's really up to you, but again, it's just the playstyle that I enjoy more, and I think when you're playing this game, that is the most important thing, that you use something that you love, that you kind of like really like, that you just mesh with. Here, I don't know what happens to this Overload. I think it fell off the edge, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe teleported. I know Bungie and teleporting champs have a weird relationship. I could get stuck in a box there as well, so no grapple. But yeah, just powering through. I now make a rule of running Silk Strike for this GM, so I can pop super and grapple across. I cannot tell you how many times I have died from getting mown down by a Cyclops. Yeah, Cyclops. Or getting blown up off my skimmer. So now it's just pop Silk Strike, grapple across the entire thing. There's a rally flag at the end anyway, so it really doesn't matter that much that you just waste a super. Yeah, sorry, I actually need to start talking about my fragments, because I say a fragment, and then I go on a completely different tangent. Facet of Hope for increased class ability regen, Facet of Blessing for health regen on a melee kill, so that's for grapple and combination blow. I also have Facet of Protection as well, and Facet of Dawn, Facet of Purpose, Facet of Hope, Facet of Blessing, and Facet of something else I can't remember. I can tell you that Stylish is here, but to be honest, you've probably already noticed on me going invisible on like every other kill. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's not good that I can't remember. Yeah. Okay. For this boss room, spam supers. You're gonna get a load of them. I make a mistake, kind of arguably a mistake, in the last half of his health when you get down to that bottom floor, because when I do these, this was originally just meant to be getting footage for, again, that Ascension video where I talk about kind of how Bungie's treated it, and you know, sometimes I'll go in and I'll get like a couple minutes footage or something. It's just how I do it. Yeah, my GM report is probably like the weirdest of any other content creator you've watched, because I'll hop into a GM for like 3 minutes, test something super quick, like go against a couple of champs, make sure that my stuff is working, and then I'll just leave or I'll just die. And if anyone looked, they'd be like, wow, he dies a lot. And so, yeah, I kind of do. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes that's me trying to go for solo flawless clears. But a lot of the time also it's me just like going in and testing stuff. Then obviously because it's equipment locked, like you can't change anything. I just like testing my stuff in GMs and on champs. I think it gives a little bit of credit to one, me being at least a half decent player, but also just knowing that you can use the build and trust that it's going to be good. It's why I now do all of my stuff in GMs. But where was I going with that? Yeah, sorry, I was supposed to just be getting footage originally for that video. And then as I was going through, I was like, oh, I'm actually getting pretty far through this run. And then I was like, oh, I'm at the boss. And then it kind of happens, you know, like heart starts going a little bit quicker. You're a bit like, ooh, I really don't want to die now. So I'll play with loads of confidence up until that last half. And then it's just playing like a scatty camp, which, you know, you can do. Like, I will always prioritize having... Oh, I thought I was going to get away with getting a grenade there. I will always go for, like, flashy-looking footage showing off the build at its best, than just kind of, like, super passive, kind of staying back, being a little scared kind of stuff. Okay, so here, for example, like, I can super the boss. I can super confidently super the boss, and by the time he's into his aggro phase, I will easily have another super. I could probably even get 3 supers by that point. But here I'm kind of like, oh, do I really want to go for it? Do I... And then I'm like, maybe? Nope. You see, so I definitely should have supered it. If you're using this build, just know that you can spam your supers so much between Anarchy and Lost Signal and Jolt Tigs and get a lot. Oh, this is one really nice thing when there's just stuff like, what are these called? Harpies and the, oh, what's the Witness Force? Oh, the ones that fly, like the whole bat with wings, or bat with a gun, sorry, bat with, I forgot the name of it. Damn, okay, that one. You can literally just grapple up into the air and then do an ascension, and it's like super good at clearing out stuff. You can also do this, which is just all of them gone. To us, I probably should have grappled right here. Instead, I spin away. And then, yeah, like you can just see. So now I've put myself in a kind of bad position because debatable whether I get enough super energy. I mean, obviously you can see because of my weapon choices, just, this is Anarchy Lost Signal stuff. It's just such, like, ridiculous generator of a super. I know Outbreak Perfected is good, probably like the best, but for a combination between amazing super gains and damage as well, and obviously filling up Transcendence Bar, I genuinely don't think there's like many combos better than this. And yeah, there you go. There's the run. To be honest, this one was probably a little bit more on the yapping side. I don't think I actually talked about much about what I was doing just then. So sorry if you came here for a guide and you just got a 20-something minute talking to. There you go. 28.5 minute. Definitely could have been done faster, but yeah. Oh well, still a pretty good run. Yeah, you can see decent orb gen here. Now obviously that's from curative orbs on the artifacts. There's a lot of shield stuff here, but also just from the build. Yeah, also loading Vorpal, heal clip incandescent, Anarchy, Immerse Coyote, and then my armor. If you can, maybe try get the mobility a little bit higher, but then Silk Strike is my super, combination blow, Gamblers, Grapple, Ascension, Stylish, Purpose, Protection, Dawn, Blessing, Hope. And then, yeah, authorized mods melee, and then a bunch of the grenade stuff. Rapid impacts, total carnage, power from pain, thick of it, concussive reload, curative, and kinetic impacts. Yeah, and that's about it. That's it.